Brothers-in-Laws presents Let's Drop Jewels, Season 2. Let's go. What's up, everybody? I am your host, LeVar Huggins, with co-host Victor Robinson Jr. Welcome to Let's Drop Jewels with my hitter and go-getter, Mujahid, and we are Brothers-in-Law. Welcome to the podcast that's intended to educate, motivate, and inspire the world. For more information on Brothers-in-Laws, you can follow us on Facebook at Brothers Law and on Instagram at Bros-in-Laws. And if you would like to contact us, you can email us at brosinlaws@gmail.com. And now it is time to open your ears and receive these jewels we about to drop on y'all. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Let's Drop Jewels. On this episode, we will discuss the negative influence that music have on our younger generation of today. One fact about music, me being a producer myself, music is a frequency. With that being said, scientists have proven that frequencies can be manipulated and programmed. Frequencies can target certain parts of the mind. Parts of the mind that would put you to sleep, parts of the mind that could put you into a meditative state, make you angry, happy, or sad. The sound of music has an influential impact on our lives. What's going on, fellas?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
How's everybody doing?
All right.
Doing all right today,
Yes.
man.
We have co-host Victor Robinson and Mujahid. We also have Charles Carl as a guest panel on the podcast today. Charles, what's going on with you, man?
How you doing, sir? How y'all doing, gentlemen?
Hey, we're doing pretty good, man.
We're doing pretty good. So first of all, I like to say that the music of today has tremendously changed. It seems as though we, or the younger generation, is put under some type of hypnotic state. And what I mean by that is, if you don't know anything about music consists of sounds, which certain sounds has an impact on the brain. Certain sounds are, like I said, used for meditation, used for a sleep state. These type of things has been around for centuries, but with today's technology, certain frequencies has the ability to change or be manipulated. I don't know if any one of y'all ever seen the movie Get Out.
What's that movie? The movie Get Out?
The movie Get Out? When the guy was
I think I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it.
The guy was hypnotized through a sound. When the woman took the spoon and she was taking the spoon going around the teacup.
When he was in the seat he was kind of in a relaxed state. She had the teacup deal. Yeah.
Right. That particular sound put him in a hypnotic state. Like I said, me dealing with music, music is a collaboration of different sounds.
Mm-hmm.
And when them sounds come together, it can have impact on your way of thinking. Chants. Let's get into chants too. Chants were used in ancient music. Chants is a repeated sound or repeated lyric that's repeated over and over again. So if you notice that music of today is totally different from the music of yesterday.
Right.
And it seems as though with the chants and with the chants and the changing of the frequencies, that we can easily be put under hypnosis.
That's so the topic kind of, I know we was having an open discussion about it, and Carl, we've been talking about it. My brother Carl here, we spent a little time over in Europe together. He's out of Florida. He's a great educator and a community activist. So when we're talking about the youth, and he's a youth coach as well as I am a youth coach, and we're constantly seeing different behaviors and different things happening within our youth. Specifically, we were trying to understand, where these behaviors were coming from, right? Like how are the youth getting to this point where we're seeing these critical moves or these critical encounters of violence? And you make a good point, and that's the science behind a lot of it.
Well, yeah, I got off the topic a little bit. But yeah, I was basically talking about how music actually impact our lives and how it can influence us to have certain behaviors and to do certain things. And it's through these chants and through the sound of music that's able to touch certain chakras within your body. And when those chakras, when them sounds connect with those chakras, it has a different reaction on your brain.
So you mind if I ask you something right quick?
What's that, sir?
So Rob, I like the I don't want to say monkey wrench,
right?
But I like to kind of think outside the box.
Right.
So when we talk about musical influence,
right,
and today's generation, and me and Rob had a conversation a couple of days ago.
Right.
That night, I looked at the versus battle between Bone and 3 6 Mafia.
Right.
And 20 years ago, Bone was talking about Mr. Ouija.
Right.
And 3 6 Mafia was talking about drugs.
Right.
But most of us still stayed away from Ouija boards.
Right.
So this don't have to be answered now, but my question is, for some of us who was listening to that, it's almost the same because 3 6 Mafia talked about drugs a lot.
Right.
So is it more so of now that's all that's out there, or it's coming out in more volume than it is back then?
It's coming out more volume than it is back then.
Okay, gotcha.
It's coming out more volume.
Yeah, I think it's go ahead, bro.
No, go ahead. I think music has always been the same.
Right.
I mean, we could take it back to the beginning. We're going to base it off that. I don't really base, the influence being based off of music. It starts somewhere else, and that starts at home. A lot of these kids, they raised by single parents.
Right.
If they're not raised by their mother, they either raised by parents that has an addiction, so we can't place the blame on the music.
But there is a large contributing factor now based on numbers. It says I think it's WHO, World Health Organization's statistics state that 2.5 hours or more, 3 hours or more time is spent on adolescents listening to music, and so I think it's a contributor, like what you're saying. I do think the fundamentals of it are a lot of it's missing prior to the music even being introduced.
Right.
Now, when those factors aren't there and then the music is introduced, I think then we have the recipe for a lot of what we're seeing today. And as we talk about music changing, I think you're right. I don't think it's changing. I think it may be transcending. It's kind of warping and morphing into something different that's can associate itself more to the current culture or the current what we're talking about, the current youth.
Right.
Because there's things that they are very interested in today that maybe 20 years ago we may not have been interested into. And so when we look at the entire map, how a child can get to the point of violent behavior, because that's what that's what really triggered the conversation. Is like all of us had personal experiences with the youth being killed. Some of us more recently than others. But at the same time, we're asking that question, okay, how are we getting there? And then we realizing that, hey, well, one of the contributing factors is the music.
Yeah, but okay, we had NWA back in the days.
Okay.
All right. I mean, you pick and choose what you want to listen to,
right.
So we just can't say, the negative influence is just the music. It starts somewhere else, man.
It's not the only negative influence. It's one of.
Right. Okay.
But it's a contributor.
It's a contributor.
Right.
And then once you do the science behind music itself, when I went back to the chants and I went back to how music is frequencies,
right,
that it can actually change the way that we think and we live.
True
today.
Indeed. True indeed. You right. I mean, it does change that, but you know what? You got to know when to turn it off.
I think that's the problem.
When you change the frequency.
You got to know how to turn it off.
That's when you change the frequency.
I think a big part of it is the fact that it's so influential that it becomes hard to turn it off. Carl, what you got?
So I think back then, I forgot who was saying it because I can't see y'all too good, but
probably me.
Then you. So when we listened to that music back then, like, you know, I'm gonna throw in my church background.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the songs, and we sung. You know, I remember Bone had a song called "Dear Mr. Ouija, Would You Please Tell Me My Future?"
Yeah.
You know
Right.
But I was also going to church, so I knew, okay, I like to listen to it, but I'm not gonna pick up a Ouija board.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to church on Sunday.
Right.
But when you don't have a good home environment,
there you go.
Where now the music, there's nothing to combat it. So
and that's what I'm getting at.
Where I grow up at, the kids that don't have any structure in their home, they gonna bump that Future and that Gucci Man, because you got some kids listen to it and they're like, man, I'm not gonna take that.
Right.
So you know, I like to be, or you know, I like to get ready to listen to it for the football game.
Right,
gym.
right.
But for the kids that are either impressionable or don't have any guidance, they finna take that to heart and go out there and relive what they're seeing. So yes, music is influential, and it's even worse if there is no good parent in the home to combat the negativity. Then yeah, it's gonna run you.
Right. And so here's another question. You know, as we continue this discussion here, music, you know, do we realize the intentions of music being produced? Obviously, we can't get into the minds of the artists and the things like that, but a lot of their minds and their concepts and precepts are delivered through their lyrics and through the sound.
Right.
You know, so at what point do we look at it as simply entertainment? And at what point do we look at it as, hey, this is a direct assault against the thinking and the behavior of those who are willing to abide by this music and the sound? Anybody?
Well, I'm
sorry.
It's a form of control to me. That's why you heard me tapping on the history of music and sound and the chants and everything, because this right here can tap into certain parts of your brain. You know, it's far beyond. I mean, we talking about science fiction. We talking about scientifically proven. We talking about the sounds of music, what it can do to the left and the right part of your hemisphere.
Right.
You know, so, and a lot of us don't think that far out, far as the history of the music itself, the sound of music.
Right.
You know, so when I talk about that, I'm talking about how technology use it in a form of control.
I understand that, you know, as well, but we can't place it all on music. Though.
It's just one. That's all I'm saying. One factor.
No,
right. That's one.
That's just one factor.
I think we definitely established, like, there's contributing factors.
Right.
Definitely based on what you and Carl were saying. You know, there's a family that's not stable and the child doesn't have that structure.
Right.
Then obviously, whatever they're giving their time to, you know, which is music or whatever the case may be. Then go ahead, Carl.
But if we're going deeper, I understand what LeVar is saying, right? So from the influence, like, I think I understand perfectly clear now where LeVar is getting at. And LeVar, you correct me if I'm wrong. So we're looking at we're going to the extreme. And so we're looking at music for a rebuttal as to saying, okay, I listen to the Ouija board and I don't get on it, or, you know what I'm saying, I'm listening to Shoot 'Em Up, but I'm not going to shoot nobody. I don't think that's what LeVar is getting. I think LeVar is going deeper into the tone of, for instance, with my wife, if we getting ready to get it in, I'm telling Alexa to play R&B songs. And those R&B songs, so we are controlled by music. That's because we're not, or you know what I'm saying, if we at the party, or we're at a cookout, you throw on that Step in the Name of Love.
Right. You ready to dance. You ready to get out there and do something.
That Frankie Beverly.
Right.
Immediately.
Right.
Yeah, so we
are change your whole mode
by music. So that's where LeVar is going into the deeper mood of, if I want, also with church.
Right.
I'm having a hard time praying. I'm going to throw some Maverick City. Like, I'm going to throw something on that's going to calm me down. So music controls all of us to a certain extent.
It does.
Whether we're going to go out there and shoot somebody, that's influence. But music controls all of our moves.
Right. Music, you know, I mean, our sound, our talk, our walk, everything that we do is in rhythm and it's in frequency. Absolutely.
Right.
I think we're trying to channel in or kind of horn in on the fact that when these things are happening, because that's the idea of music, sound, tone, chants, all of that develops, you know, a song or whatever the case may be. The part is that, and for me, is that, is this intentional to create some type of negative behavior from our youth, because we know what music can do? And that's when that goes back to the entertainment. Is the entertainment introduced into our adolescence, our youth, simply because we can almost dictate a certain behavior that's a negative contribution to our society, and music all in itself got it, you know. We can do it, and I understand the frequency. Well, I don't understand it until you brought it up. It makes sense that, you know, sounds can create certain behaviors and things like that. I guess we want to get to the fact that, when is it a concern? Is it lyrics? Is it intentions? When do we get truly concerned about music and its impact in order to prevent youth or adolescent violence? You know, when do the intentions become critical unto us, where we're saying, oh, it's just for entertainment, you know, we're just doing it to make money, or are we saying like, no, you know, we know and understand what our music is doing to the community, but yet still we're going to create it. I think it was Snoop Dogg who made the comment and said, you know, I wouldn't let my child listen to the music I make. Right. You see what I'm saying? Right. And Malcolm X's daughter Shabazz, she just recently passed away. She made a statement about Jay-Z and Puff Daddy being contributors to, you know, womenizing and the way they spoke about women's in their lyrics. And now Jay-Z is kind of rescinded on a lot of his lyrics, saying that, hey, I'm not going to allow my child to listen to that, or I'm not going to, you know, degrade my young daughter through my music any longer. So my point, and everything you're saying is absolutely correct.
See, the music is used to dumb down our younger generation. You know, it's like the icing on the cake. They already know that some is doing bad, some is living this way, some is living that way. So the music just adds on to it. You know, we talk about broken homes, we talk about the parents, we talk about this, that, and the third, but putting the music on top of it, that's the icing on the cake, because the music is what influenced them to live that type of lifestyle. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? My son the other day, him and his cousin made a little album, a track. Yeah. Right. And they had a lot of gun shooting and a lot of profound language and everything. And I told my son, I said, you're not even about that life. See, a lot of these rappers is living, talking about, you know, shooting and killing. And a lot of them won't even allow their own kids to listen to that music. They're not really about their life. So it's more of an entertainment stance than actual reality. How the music has influenced the younger generation.
But this is why I say music is, you say this is one, right? Yeah. But this is why I stand on. It starts at home, because like I said, my son grew up in the hood, right? I've been to prison, right? My son knows my past. My son has never been in trouble. My son listens to everything the regular generation listen to, you know, around his age, but he doesn't get himself caught up with the hype. You know what I mean? That's why I said, listen, it starts with, you know, the foundation of a home, you know, because if you don't lay down no law, it ain't going to be no order, you know? So my son knows there's a line drawn.
So that's a good point. That's a good point. And Carl, you know, I'm gonna go to you with this question here. That's a great point. Is there a different impact for our males versus our females when it comes to the influence of music? Is it different?
Right. I mean,
I think it's equal, because you look at the influence of, you know what, I'm gonna be honest and think it might be more to the girls, because Hot Girl Summer, the City Girls and Cardi B, they're now watch this. This is a true story. I dropped my pen. My daughter, okay, who's in high school, we let her talk to boys on the phone. They're not coming to the house, but we let her talk, you know, the boys on the phone. If dating happens soon, she's a junior in high school. There was at her homecoming dance, there was a boy that she liked, right? So we always looking at negativity, as far as the boys.
Mm-hmm.
So the girl that my daughter is running into is now in high school. The boys are looking, I hate to call the girls this, but
right.
The boys are looking for the little thoughts.
Yeah.
Right.
The boys looking for the thoughts. So my daughter lost out at homecoming to the girl that was grinding and twerking on the little boy.
Right.
That was where his attention was because they're putting out. So the girls are looking at the Cardi B's, the Meg Thee Stallions, and all the other Ratchet City girls. They're looking at them more so than your Janelle Monáe's and some of your more conservative women. So while we always like to highlight the boys, the girls are realizing from either Instagram into a lot of the music, we get more attention.
Right.
Because girls base self-esteem sometimes on attention. So now through that attention, you got girls from 15 on to 50 still twerking and talking about a hot girl or something.
So far, if I heard you correctly, you were saying that the young man attention changed to the one to the young girl that was a little more explicit. Whoever was putting it out, whatever the case may be.
Right.
So whoever gonna twerk it on them.
Wouldn't that still fall in line with the derogatory nature of the music? Because a lot of the music, and we're talking about how it influences and how it gets these behaviors kind of juiced up. A lot of the sound in the music, oftentimes for males, orient towards more of that sexual desire, right? And I think one of the bigger problems is, and this is why music is becoming such a dominant topic in the conversation of parents with their youth, is simply because it introduces our kids at a young age prematurely to some adult content. Right. This is adult content that they're seeing, hearing, and really following. And then because of the adolescency of their mind, the youth of their mind, they're not fully developed. They're still vulnerable. There's space for all type of things to interject. And here now you put this overly mature idea of, whatever. And now this child has that image and that information to reference when it comes to relationships, when it comes to decisions that they make, how they emotionally overcome and get through, challenging, issues. So the males in the videos are oftentimes, derogatory towards females and just making them more of an object. Whereas for females, they're seeing that the females in those images of those videos, they're getting the attention, like you were saying, Carl. They're getting the attention from those sex-driven males, and so obviously the male runs straight to what he's been seeing in videos.
But this is going back deeper. So let's get deeper. The girl who's waking up, for the most part, they can go rogue too. But the girl that's waking up with love, she's going to only go a certain kind of way with it. She's not going to really be dressed out there, you know what I'm saying? But the girls that are not getting love, that are growing up in poverty, I'm going to bed hungry, I don't have nice things. Now my body can get me nice things. So let me perfect what I see these girls doing. And then for the boys, because we don't have those conscious brothers like Common controlling the airwaves, you now have boys with an identity crisis, because I realize now I got to be hip and be something I'm not. So LeVar, what you said about your son is happening here.
Mujahid.
Yeah, Mujahid said that.
Yeah.
I'm not far. Like, listen, I live in an HOA, but I'm right here by the trenches. Like, the trenches is 5 minutes away, and I'm in the trenches.
Right.
That's how I set up here.
Right.
A lot of these boys realize that me being a nice kid will get me overlooked. So you got a lot of boys in the streets who really not about that life, but that gets them attention.
Right.
So they're gonna put on, because we look at Russell Wilson as lame.
Right.
So I got to act like Future, or else I'm not gonna get no attention. And nobody wants to go through, like, especially high school. You know what I'm saying? When you get older, you can be, but nobody in high school, unless you just one of them rare breeds that don't care, most kids want to be seen, and that negativity in the culture within our community, you're going to act that out, even though you're really not about that.
Right.
Yeah, but remember in the beginning you were saying like, you know, the young girl who gets that love at home by her mother, she's not gonna go to that little high school dance and act that way, right? Opposed to the one that's at home and she gets no love. Only thing her mom gives her is here goes a phone. You know, this is this is who you spend your time with. You know, that's what you know, and that's what I'm getting at. It starts at home with the parents. I understand with the music, but the girl that will getting the love at home, she's going to go to that party. She's not going to do what the mother girl. She's not going to be out there twerking because she knows.
That's because she's on a different frequency. Okay, she's not on the same frequency.
It's she hears the frequency. She's at the party. She's hearing it. Yes. So it's like she hears the music playing. Right. So that's just okay. I'm gonna finish this right here. Right.
Go ahead, brother.
Now I'm coming back from a baseball game. Took my son to see the Braves. Right. So we on the road coming back. I'm letting him play his music. You know. Now, mind you, he's probably like, what, 16, 17 at the time now.
Right.
So what he's listening to, they talking about smashing, all you know, and all that, you know, sex. So now I'm looking at my son. I'm like, look, I said, I hope you're wearing a condom.
Right.
And he was like, nah, pardon me, you know what I'm saying?
But it still doesn't change the fact that it put him in the mood to have sex. The music.
Well, you can't confirm
you
that, though.
But I'm saying it's not put him in the mood to have sex. It's just like
it has to. But here's what
it never crossed his mind at that time, or what?
But I think we have to.
He should be. I'm riding with him.
We have to look at the potential things, right? Like potentially.
We don't know that. We don't know what was going through his mind.
The influence of the music could potentially result in certain risk.
Right.
And the risk that we're talking about is the exposure of the sexual content, you know, and these conversations that they're having through lyrics. They're talking about adult lives, like adults are talking about adult things, but kids are listening to it. I don't think if we can get it as simple as that, they're listening to adults. Look, some of these rappers, they're not talking about crayons and painting and stuff like that. They're talking about adult content that our kids are listening to that can create risk. You know, a lot of statistics have proven that, based on exactly what you were saying, that kids that live in poverty, kids that are under alcohol and drug influence, kids that are under violence at home, you know, mistreatment at home, they are highly likely to execute some form of violence because of the idea of identity. Where do I
identify? You can identify. I understand that, you know, the child, he can identify if he's listening to, let's say, MOP. Okay, I can identify with, you know, a lot of things they saying. At the same time, you know, you got Poor Righteous Teachers, you got Brand Nubian, the Conscious Brothers. You know, I could identify with both of them because I'm liking what these guys are saying, and I'm also liking what these guys are saying because I came up in the struggle,
right?
You know, right. So, but I mean, I'm not going to go out and act on it. You know what I mean? And then it just makes you feel like, okay, I'm not the only one going through this. Right. You know,
there is some relatability, and I think that's where, you know, the tables turn to where we say, hey, is there a positive outcome from the music? And we kind of stuck around, you know, the rap type deal, but there are different genres of music out there, and they all, you know, have different, you know, different sounds, different feels, different moods and things like that. But there are some positive outcomes from music. So, you know, let's orient towards more of the positive outlook of it, because music does tell a story. It tells a story.
Not only that, it has healing powers. It has healing powers. So, like I said, when you tap into certain chakras, it heals certain parts of your body. This is ancient. This is what ancient medicine was. You know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with the modern medicine of today. You know, they listen to, like I said, sounds, listen to chants. They meditated. You know.
So while we're talking,
that's almost like when you get them. You know, I invest in my body, and, you know, I get a massage. You know, I get regular massages, not the Deshaun Watson.
Right.
I get regular massages. But no, when you're getting a massage, bro, like especially the lady that does me, she has the meditation music. Like, it's not R&B, it's not hip hop.
No, it's the meditation music. 432 hertz.
Yeah.
So what can we do, or better yet, who can play a role? Who can play a role in changing some of these negative behaviors? And I think Mujahid hit on it a lot, starting at the home. But what else is out there that we ourselves personally know, and through our professions and careers, you know, that is out there that can assist in changing some of these behavior? Because the number of cases that we're seeing in youth deaths is obviously, you know, at an all-time high.
Right.
It's going to continue to happen. The only way that we can technically stop it is if certain people just didn't have kids, or if we deem people at some point.
Yeah.
Because now that's the market.
Right.
The market. Nobody wants to hear, you know, like even Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, as nice as they are, the kids don't want to hear that. They want to hear Pooh Shiesty and
Right.
So now this is the market.
Mm-hmm.
The market to make money is to be wild and out there with the gun. So now, bro, it's far gone, and the people that control it are gonna keep it pumping. The only thing that we can do is focus on those who are first in our homes.
Yes.
And then those within our communities. Because I can throw an expo and I can bring 100 kids in and I can show them the negativity of music. And I can give them a 4-hour lecture. After them 4 hours, they're going to leave and they're going to throw that music back on because they're not in my house, and they're going to go back to what. So I just think now this is a thing where the whole room is burning. And if we're able to get 1 or 2 up out of there, we've done our good job. But we're not going to, at this point, we're not going to get everybody up out of there.
But Carl, you know what?
It's just not going to happen.
I agree with you, Carl, and it seems like we're running out of time, Carl. Carl, we want to thank you for being on the show today.
Right.
And hopefully we can get you back on the show, man.
Yes, sir. Y'all let me know.
Definitely.
Okay.
I'm just going to put this out there. The fear of prison, I see the time. Fear of prison, we got to put that in them, right?
Right.
And also the school systems. And they build more prison, but they don't want to put money in the schools.
And look, and the fear of God.
Exactly.
You put that in, that'll straighten them out. Carl, love you, brother. Take care, man.
Peace, bro.
Love you, sir.
All right. Appreciate you.
Yes. We want to thank everybody for being on the show today. Hope you enjoyed the conversation. Be sure to like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you would like to hear more on our content, you can download our podcast wherever podcast is available. With that being said, everybody, peace out and have a good night.
Take care. Be blessed.
Peace.